Hey, it's Taj, the other Jeff Johnson. Thanks for watching this video. It's a little bit delayed. I had some technical difficulties last night. I'm using a different microphone now. We'll see how this works. This is the Week 6 update, and I'm going to be referring to some notes that are right off the screen here, so forgive me as I do that. There's a lot of information to cover. On Tuesday of this week, which Saturday was Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, so this was May 1st. Tuesday, I traveled to Houston, got moved into the apartment, settled, got the office set up. That's where I am now. Even brought a little bit of extra pyramid foam from the booth just to kind of make things feel at home here. Does absolutely nothing to improve the sound quality in this cave that I'm in. This is the dining room of the apartment, and it's also my office right now. Wednesday, stopped by the dentist office, had a check of the temporary wax stent that was going to be used for my radiation simulation. This stent holds your mouth open so that you can breathe through your mouth if you need to, but it also helps because it has a little piece that comes out. It helps to lock you into position so that you don't move while you're being radiated. Everything they're doing is trying to minimize the amount of radiation that reaches healthy tissue and direct that radiation only to the cancer tissue, so I'm happy about that. Started the radiation well, first I had a radiation consent visit. Had to give them permission to fry Fred. Yes. That was easy. Where do I sign? Then the radiation simulation started. These are CT scans to check the shape and aiming of the radiation beam. They made this mask for me. There's a mold that holds the back of my head in place, and then a mask that clamps over my face and my shoulders to keep me from moving. It tilts my head way back so that it opens all this up and exposes it to the radiation beam. So we started the simulation with my stent in, and shortly after we got started, I swallowed, and the stent broke. My tongue pushed up on the bottom of the stent and broke it. They fixed it. They even used tape where it was cracked to hold it in place, but they heated it up, got it all back together, got it wiggled on, played with it, made sure that it was ready to go again, put it in, and I broke it again. This was not intentional. This was just the natural motion of, laying flat on your back. The saliva is running down the back of your throat. You naturally swallow, and both times when I did it, it just popped. You could hear it crack. So the radiologist told me he had never seen anyone break a temporary stent in 14 years. The dentist said that I was only the third person in his entire career to break one, but that I was the first to do it twice. So I'm special. And I also have a new medical diagnosis, very strong tongue. Go ahead and insert your big mouth joke here because it belongs. So moving on to Thursday, we had to finish the radiation simulation on Thursday morning. The dentist put a plastic brace in the wax stent. He basically dared me to break it again, and I didn't. We made it through the simulation. So that's ready to go so we can start radiation on Wednesday of this week. That will be Wednesday, not radiation, start chemo on Wednesday, May 9th, and start radiation on May 16th. So Saturday, we do treatment on Saturday, we do appointments on Saturday. Well, the chemo doctor called Saturday morning. She went into the office just to work on my case. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but she's several months pregnant. She went into the office on a Saturday to work on my case. She found another drug that, when combined with Erbitux, makes it as effective, if not more effective, than cisplatin without the side effects of cisplatin that I'm extremely concerned about, particularly hearing loss. So we talked a little bit. What I'm asking is that we hold off on adding that to the Erbitux. Let's try just Erbitux, see how it works. Then if it's not doing what they want it to do, add this drug called a taxane to it. There are some potential side effects with the taxane, but they are still not as nasty as cisplatin. I got to tell you, I was really impressed with my chemotherapy doctor that she didn't just put a check mark in a box on Friday when I said, let's use Erbitux. She kept researching to the point of coming into the office on a weekend to do research to make sure we were doing what's best for me and what's most effective for treating my tumor and what will give me the best outcome long term with the least amount of side effects. So Monday, pardon me. Today. Now, normally I would not include Monday because I would have posted this video yesterday, but again, technical issues. And I'm really glad I didn't because I don't want to save this. This is just too good not to share. I had an ultrasound and needle biopsy. today. If you ever have the opportunity to get a needle biopsy, pass it up if you can. It's not comfortable. They stick needles through your neck into your lymph nodes. We thought that the cancer was in the left and right lymph nodes, but it's only on the right side. I don't know if that changes my treatment in any way. I don't know what will happen as a result of that, but the cancer hasn't spread as much as we thought it had, and that has to be good news no matter what. Now, I want to share something with you that happened during the needle biopsy, and this is very personal, and it has to do with my faith. And if that's not your thing, I understand, and you can tune out now because that's going to be the rest of the video, but I hope you'll listen to it because it means a lot to me. And I'm going to read a little bit more of this than I normally would because I want to get all the details right. I had a really rough night last night. Last night was Sunday, May 6th. For the first time since I was diagnosed on March 29th, I was feeling very vulnerable and very alone, especially because I'm here in Houston by myself. I really am physically alone. God and I had one of those talks where I say, I can't handle this alone, and he says, I already knew that, and then I cry a lot. And I didn't get to sleep until about 1 in the morning. I didn't feel much better when I woke up this morning, and so I didn't go into the biopsy and the ultrasound with the best attitude. Today, while I was having the biopsies on my lymph nodes, when the doctor got ready to give me the numbing medication, they give you a lidocaine injection to numb the skin so that you don't feel pain from the needle going through into the lymph node. You just feel pressure, and it does actually work. You feel the stick from the lidocaine needle. You feel a burning sensation when the lidocaine goes into your skin. It goes numb very quickly. It's actually not that unpleasant. But when they were giving me the numbing medication and doing each one of the biopsies, the radiologist held the wand, the ultrasound wand with one hand, and she reached down and squeezed my hand with the other hand. And that was very unexpected, but it was also very comforting. Like I said, I wasn't in the best of moods. This was an unpleasant experience. When they did the first one, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how bad it was going to hurt. So later I thanked her. I told her that, this may not have been a big deal to you, but it meant a lot to me. She said, and I'm going to read this because I wrote it down, "You're welcome. I just feel like no one should have to go through something like this alone." Then she paused, and she smiled, and she looked me right in the eye, and she said, "You know you're not alone, right?" I cannot... it was all I could do to keep from crying. I did cry. I'm crying now. I cry. Then I had to explain why I was crying, which made me cry even more. She was supportive. When the results came back, she high-fived me at the news that only one of the lymph nodes was involved. You can believe this was, an encounter with an angel if you want to. I know this was a human being who's a radiologist, but I also know that God put someone in my path to say exactly the words I needed to hear from him at exactly the time I needed to hear them the most. And I know that I am most definitely not alone. If you are watching this video because you are someone who's supporting me in my Let's Kill Fred battle, thank you. Thank you for every note, for every card, for every message on Facebook, for every like, for every subscription to the YouTube channel. For every way that you've shown support. Thank you. If you are someone who is going through cancer, going through the battle of cancer treatment, or you're about to go through it, you're not alone. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if this doesn't make any sense, if that God thing just doesn't click with you, there's an organization called Need Him. They have a phone number, toll-free, 888-NEED-HIM. NEEDHIM, 888-NEED-HIM. They also have a website, needhim.org. It's worth checking out. I've had conversations with more than one fellow believer where we've talked about the fact that I just don't understand how people who don't have a relationship with Jesus make it through something like this. I know having good healthcare providers is important. I know that having a support system and a family that loves you is important, and I have all those things. I'm so incredibly blessed. But my faith sustains me because I know I'm a control freak, and I don't have to control this because it's taken care of. No matter what the outcome is, I'm going to be okay with it. And if that doesn't make any sense and you want to ask questions, feel free to message me on Facebook. I'm easy to find. I am the other Jeff Johnson. So facebook.com/the other Jeff Johnson is me. You can also leave a comment on YouTube. I'll be happy to respond. Don't mean to get preachy. Don't want to do that. Just want to share with you what's going on in my cancer journey, and my faith is most definitely a part of it. So I hope you will accept that in the very positive spirit that it was intended. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you next week, and let's go, Fred.